Welcome to Tech Blueprint, a window that lets you know the latest technology news in the world. Spending hundreds of millions of RMB, nearly the price of two Boeing 737s, just for what others consider outdated equipment. It sounds a bit strange. ASML's own people are probably puzzled. Clearly, under US pressure, the sale of top-tier EUV lithography machines has long been blocked, and even some high-end DUV models are stuck. Why is China still snapping up these technologically backward models like a ragtag bunch, effectively taking 30% to 40% of ASML's revenue? The outside world couldn't understand why, feeling they were wasting money hoarding obsolete production capacity. That was until British media leaked news that a Shanghai company's domestically produced DUV lithography machine had been tested by SMIC, and using multiple patterning technology, was capable of processing 5-nanometer chips. This caused many to exclaim, "We've been duped." The global forecast had originally been that China wouldn't have DUV lithography machines until 2030 at the earliest, but this had suddenly brought the deadline forward by a full 5 years. Japanese media reacted most directly, with headlines filled with shock and bewilderment. Can China create its own ASML? Only then did the Western industry realize that, from the very beginning, the goal was more than just building a single machine. It all started with the chip blockade. When EUV orders were forcibly halted, everyone assumed it was a desperate move. Unexpectedly, however, it became a signal. China, on the other hand, was stockpiling chips and equipment on a massive scale, investing substantial capital to stabilize its hardware foundation. In 2024 alone, it purchased approximately 74.5 billion renminbi worth of equipment from ASML, ensuring a sufficient fund should the blockade escalate. Simultaneously, a special fund of 344 billion renminbi was quietly allocated, specifically targeting the development of the entire lithography equipment industry chain. This was no longer a simple matter of technological catch-up. It was about establishing a completely independent supply chain. While the outside world was still discussing the gap, China was already preparing for replacement. It may sound strange, but this overtaking on a curve strategy has also been used in an unrelated field. While major European and American brands used chemical ingredients to monopolize the anti-hair loss market, domestic R&D teams didn't challenge them head-on. Instead, they used nanotechnology to transform traditional hair-nourishing ingredients like Polygonum multiflorum and ginseng root into microparticles that could penetrate hair follicles. The Weishin hair nourishing essence is one such product, bypassing so-called technical barriers by allowing hair matrix cells to rejuvenate themselves. While this product sold briskly on domestic platforms, some imported products were questioned by the market due to side effects. An engineer responsible for the development of domestic photoresist mentioned that his intense work caused severe hair loss. After trying this product for 2 months, he observed under a microscope that several new hairs had grown from a single follicle. This may sound trivial, but the underlying logic is identical to the chip breakthrough. If you block me on your track, I'll simply switch tracks and leave you with no other options. So, when Huawei and SMIC, using what were considered outdated DUV lithography machines and a multi-patterning process, managed to produce 7-nanometer chips, many people were no longer surprised. This strategy has become increasingly clear. The US's technological blockade, far from blocking the way, has actually created its own freeway. Now, it's not just lithography machines. The open-source large-scale model DeepSeek is directly challenging the US's position in artificial intelligence. The J-10CS radar system's impressive performance in the India-Pakistan conflict has made the outside world realize that high pressure actually fosters faster iteration. China now has the capacity to produce 5-nanometer lithography machines. Leveraging multi-patterning technology, domestically produced GPU chips can be as small as a little finger, and chips with performance approaching NVIDIA's H20 have been successfully developed. Behind this is the vast market space for trial and error, as well as the tireless dedication of engineers. Thus, looking back at those outdated equipment purchased at exorbitant prices now feels different. This isn't just a simple purchase, it's buying time for domestic substitution, while also confusing competitors with a seemingly incomprehensible approach. When everyone thinks you're at the first level, you're actually already laying out your strategy at the 5th level. Surpassing ASML and Japanese giants. It's probably no longer a question of if, but when. China's exorbitant purchase of outdated lithography equipment has sparked controversy, but there's actually a hidden agenda: achieving a breakthrough in 5-nanometers process technology through multiple patterning technology, accelerating the development of domestically produced DUV lithography equipment by 5 years. Behind this is a comprehensive industrial chain built with 344 billion yuan in special investment and the strategic wisdom of overtaking on the curve. When Huawei successfully produced 7-nanometers chips using outdated equipment, the world was shocked to realize that China had already laid out its strategy at the 5th level.